Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very exciting idea to share with you guys today. I told my Zoom not to play this entry and exit chime. Pardon me for one moment. Mhm. It's telling me that it did that, but it didn't. Oh well, no matter. Okay, so I was rethinking. I was really rethinking like the whole story because before you start on any chapter, you have to sort of like get back into it and think, okay, what was going on and how did it start and how does this connect with the whole thing, um, and this thought just it's really cool. And I want to share it with you. So the book starts with listen to how much more everything makes sense now. Okay, we're gonna give a context that's gonna make everything good. So the book begins with this guy named Elimelech that we mentioned means Eli Melech, to me the king, because he thinks he's supposed to be king. Therefore, he goes to war because he thinks he is going to create the kingdom of Yehuda, the monarchy, not of Yehuda, I should say, but really of Yisrael, since he thinks he is going to be the guy who's going to institute the Yisrael Malchut, the Malchut Yisrael, the monarchy of Israel. Therefore, he goes to Moab. Why? Why does he go to Moab? Well, because he knows already that the only way we can ever have the result of a kingdom is if we reintegrate Moab. Why does he think that? By the way, it's not just Moab. It's Moab and Ammon. It's Moab and Ammon. Because after all, we know that the Torah says, Lo yavo Ammoni u'Moavi b'kal Hashem, gam dor asiri lo yavo lahem b'kal Hashem ado lo amal asher kidmoschem b'lechem u'v'mayim. The pasuk says, I might be off a little bit over there, but the pasuk says that an Ammonite and a Moabite may not marry into the congregation of the Jews. Why? Why can they not marry into the congregation of the Jews? Because when the Jews came out of Eretz Mitzrayim and they were in the desert, the Ammonites and the Moabites were right there. And after all, we're cousins. They're the children of Lot. They could have come out with sandwiches. I'm not saying cholent. We don't need cholent, simis, kishke, gefilte fish, but at least a sandwich, a pita, some falafel, something you could have done, but you didn't do it. And therefore, since you don't show any sort of hakar satov whatsoever, the Torah explains, therefore, they may not, cannot, must not marry into the Kal of Hashem. Well, then why do we want Ruth? Of course, the Gemara explains, Ammoni velo Ammonit, Moavi velo Moavit. When I say an Ammonite, I mean an Ammonite, not an Ammonitess. And a Moabite, not a Moabitess. Why? Okay, so leave that in the back of your mind, right? Because come on, you have to admit you've thought of that, right? You have to admit, it's not your question, it's Doeg's question. It's Doeg's question centuries later when he tries to get bumped David out of the way. And he's like, what do you mean? You don't say Mitzri and not Mitzrit. You don't make any other such sort of hair-splitting arguments when you talk about who the Torah says you can, like mamzer and not mamzeret. What are you talking about? It's always the same. So why all of a sudden are you saying it's a Ammoni and not an Ammonite and not a Ammonitess, or a Moabite, not a Moabitess? Leave that for a moment on the back of your shelves. Elimelech understands that the only way we're going to get Malchut is by getting these Moabites, and therefore, in order to institute the Malchut, he goes there. And it turns out that was a disastrous mistake. Ruth and Orpah, as we mentioned, are descendants of the daughters of Lot. They come from princes and kings. They don't just marry into some rich Jew family. They also shared this vision of Malchut. They knew that the monarchy, the eventual Hebrew monarchy, was going to descend from that family. That's why they married in the first place. Which is why when everyone dies, what does Naomi say to her daughters-in-law? Go home. I have no more sons for you. You have no more sons for me. You're an old lady. You're 80 years old. And here's a young widow, lass, and she's 19, and she could go marry somebody. What does she need you for? So the simple explanation that I've always understood was because everybody's not going to, they're all xenophobic over there, and no one's going to makabel you. My family was enlightened, so Machlon married you, but like, if you go to Israel now, if you move to Bnei Brak, there's no one over there that's going to marry you. That's not all she's saying. She's saying that the only reason you converted, the only reason you became part of Yisrael was because you bought into this vision that we are going to establish the eventual kingdom of Yisrael. Of Malchus Yisrael. That's why you married into the family in the first place. So now that they've all died, sorry, you're not it and we're not it. It was all wrong. We were wrong. We thought that the Malchus was going to come from this family, from Beit Lechem. We thought that you were the Moabite that we've been waiting for thousands of years to reintegrate the family of the daughters of Lot back into Avrahamville, as the Gemara says, Shtei Predot Yeshli. See that we were wrong. And Orpah's like, yeah, good point, Mom. It's been real. And as much as I love you, clearly this whole thing happened under false pretenses. And gives her mama a kiss and walks away. What does Ruth say? Oh, you think this is about you? Oh, Mom, you think I want to go back to Yehuda with you because of you, that you're going to have more children from me? I am the Moabitess that is going to be the progenitor of the eventual Malchus Yisrael. I'm going anyway. Leave me alone. If you want to walk with me, great. If you want to leave, fantastic. And that's what she does. So Naomi leaves her alone. So now that explains that beginning, that first chapter, I think, in a very different way. So where does she go? She goes to fields. She goes to the fields because she has to gather, right? And this is a woman who knows that she's going to be the mother of the monarchy, right? Boaz sees her. Boaz has heard about her. Boaz is a family member of Elimelech. He also knows where the history's going. He hears about Ruth. He knows exactly who she is. So when he goes back to Beit Lechem and hears everyone talking about Naomi and her daughter, her Moabite daughter-in-law Ruth, and he understands what that means historically, and he goes back because it's business. So he goes to his field, and who's there? The chica is in his field. Who's that? They go, oh yeah, that's the daughter-in-law, the Moabite. He's like, moron. You're a moron. You don't know who that is. The Havdil, right? Because I'm watching the Last Dance. That's Michael Jordan's mom. That's Michael Jordan's mom. The Havdil, it's so much bigger than Jordan. But do you understand? All right, I promise you, until Michael Jordan was on the front page of every single magazine in this country, no one ever looked twice at his mother. It's Michael Jordan's mom. Boaz knows exactly who she is. So he goes over to her and he goes, oh, haven't you heard? I know all the chesed that you've done with your mother. Oh, I know. Oh, I know all this. I know. Please don't go anywhere. You stay here. You stay here. I know who you are. I know who you are. Well. Boaz doesn't think for a second that he's going to be the guy. He's 80. Boaz understands who Ruth is, and he wants to have a small part of helping her. He knows that in 40 years, she's going to be Jeff Bezos. He knows that. What does he give her? A nickel? He gives her $5 from the pushka? Listen to Boaz's side. He knows who just walked in. Michael Jordan walked in. But it's 14-year-old Michael Jordan. It's 14-year-old LeBron. You see him. The kid's begging you for a sandwich. Are you embarrassed to just give him a sandwich? Aren't you embarrassed a little bit to just give him a sandwich knowing what the future is? Who did who the favor? Boaz gives her a few scraps, but you notice he keeps hinting in the scraps. He's like, I know you're going to have kings. I know you're going to have all these people coming out of you. He already knows it. He doesn't think it's him. He just wants to be a part of it. He wants to be a part of it. So when Ruth comes back to her mother-in-law, listen to what she says. Unbelievable, right? So Naomi says, oh my goodness gracious. Here, I want to share the screen with you so that you can actually see it inside, because you got to see the language, right? The language is beautiful. Okay. Right? When she comes back and she sees she's holding, the 16 bags from Neiman Marcus and Bloomingdale's, she's got all this baggage on her, and she says, wow, what's Eifelikatit? Where did you gather? Va'ana asit, and where did you do? Why is there a stuttering issue, Naomi? No. Maybe Ruth has a hearing issue. No. Eifelikatit, where did you gather? Anna does not mean where. I mean, it does mean where, but it doesn't mean where was. It means where are you going. Anna is future. To where. Anna means to where. To where are you going? When she sees her come in with all that luggage from Louis Vuitton, she's like, where were you and what are you doing? That's what she said to her. Oh my God, it makes her excited. So now, Ruth, thinking that Boaz is so nice and realizes what she already knows, that she's going to be the mother of the Malchus, therefore says, oh yeah, this guy's so nice to me. He totally understands who I am. He understands what we're doing here. And he was so nice. And he says, hey, hang out with my boys. We're going to find you a great shidduch because we know where this is going eventually. And Naomi's like, no, you're misunderstanding. He's not going to set you up with some other guy. He's the guy. It didn't occur to Ruth and it didn't occur to Boaz. How do I know that? Well, we'll see from this chapter what Boaz says that never occurred to him. And obviously it never occurred to Ruth because she thought that he said to hang out with the dudes. And Naomi was the one that's like, no. It's crazy. Well, just one more thing, okay? Small thing. Oh, I forgot. I'm telling you, we need to have like 2 hours to do this. There's just... After her mother-in-law asks her, where did you go and what are you doing? She says, and she tells her mother-in-law, the one she did with. The one she did with? What do you mean the one she did with? You didn't do anything with anybody. You went to a field and you gathered. It's like, no. We're doing something. We're building together. I have a partner. His name is Boaz. A Siti Imo. Not he did something nice to me. Not he did something nice for me. We're working together. So we mentioned that this whole thing is about Yibum. It's about this whole levirate marriage issue. Levirate marriage. Why do we care about the daughters of Lot? Who gives a darn? Oh, listen to this. So if you really, I have a class on motherhood from like 3 years ago that will do this much more in depth. But let's do and if you want, you can PM me and I'll send it to you. But for right now, let's just do this very, kind of drone 30,000 foot view of what's going on here. There's a family, the Terachian family. Terach has 3 sons, Avraham, Nahor, and Haran. We're going back a little ways over here, okay? He's got 3 sons. Here are the daughters who came out of the family of Terach. Not from one side, not just from the Avrahamic branch. Here are the women who came out of Terach's family. Sarah, Milcah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Ammon, Moab. Those are all Terachian women. We reintegrated the daughters of Haran through Nahor marries one, and Avraham marries one. Their names were Sarah and Milcah. Then Avraham takes the daughters of his sister-in-law for his sons. But his nephew had 2 daughters. What happens to them? They leave with him and they go to Sodom. Of all places, they go to Sodom. But we need them. They weren't supposed to be separated. So Hashem says, I need to bring them back into the family for the next evolutionary leap, which is going to be Malchus. That's an evolutionary leap. I don't have time to discuss that right now. Therefore, now, he needs to reintegrate them. Lot, of course, is in Sodom. Why is Lot in Sodom? It's unbelievable that monarchy grows out of Sodom. Which, by the way, if you know anything about Sodom and you understand what a capitalist society, it's a Randian utopia. It's a Randian dream. It's a completely libertarian country, but they won't do anything for anybody. There's no welfare here. Nobody's helping you. There's no street signs. You either have a GPS or you don't. It's Silicon Valley on crack without the taxes. That's what Sodom is. Lot goes there. You know what the problem is? So all the guys show up at his door. Why do they show up at his door? To kill him. Because Lot is displaying something that you're not allowed to display in Sodom. Chesed. Not allowed to display chesed in Sodom. So they try to kill him. What does Lot offer them to back down? His daughters! He offers them his freaking daughters! That's what he offers them to back off for displaying chesed. He ends up, of course, having an incestuous yibum relationship with his daughters, through which come Ammon and Moab, so we could reintegrate Ruth and Naamah back into the monarchy. Now let's go back to the original question. We said everyone's asked this question. The Torah says, Lo yavo Ammoni Moavi b'kal Hashem. An Ammonite and a Moabite cannot come in. Well, well, if they can't come in, then how come you allow the women to come in? It doesn't sound very nice. It's a little sexist. And the answer is because the pasuk continues, Allah shelo kidmo eschem belechem u'b'mayim. It's because the reason that Hashem does not allow Ammonites and Moabites into the congregation of Hashem is because they did not display chesed. Allah shelo kidmo eschem belechem u'b'mayim. So the Gemara asks, well then, why would the women be off the hook for that? The women should have brought you falafels. If the whole issue is chesed and the women didn't bring falafels either, well then why do we allow them? And the Gemara answers, no. Kol kavod bas melech penima. Do you know what's even more important for them, for the women there? Tzniut. Why? Isn't chesed more important? Apparently not for the monarchy. Apparently there are two ingredients for the monarchy. One is chesed and one is tzniut. How do I know that? Well, what makes David the quintessential king is v'David haya osem mishpat u'tzedakah l'chol amo. He did mishpat and chesed because he comes from Sodom, but from Lot. So he has Sodom traits of capitalism and country building, but he has chesed from the daughters of Lot, as opposed to Lot himself, who had a perverse type of chesed. Well, how do you know that tzniut relates to monarchy by the women? Well, isn't it interesting? Because there's a medrash that says, why did that because of the tzniut, this is the Gemara in Megilat. The Gemara in Megilat says that because of the tzniut that Rachel had, she had Shaul. And because of the tzniut that Shaul had, he had Esther. So the other family that gets monarchy, that's not this line, comes from what? Tzniut. And therefore, the reason that we care about Ammonites and Moabites is we need their women. Why? To create the Malchut. And the Malchut is made of two things, tzniut and chesed. And that's why we need Ruth. And now she's back. And now, so basically, Boaz bought the Judean monarchy for a dime. And now we can continue with chapter 3. I'm sorry for that very long-winded introduction, but I thought that it was like the coolest thought, and I wanted to share it with you. So vatomer lo Naomi chamota. Naomi now says, her mother-in-law, Biti, my daughter, hello vakesh lamanoach asher yivtav lach. Don't you know that I care about you, that I want what's best for you? Ve'ata now, hello Boaz moratanu asher hayises narosav. Doesn't Boaz know us, understand us? He's on our team. The guy that you've been hanging around his maidens. Hinehu zores goren hasorim halayla. You know, he's going to be gathering up the money today. It's money day. It's gather day. It's party time. Here's what I want you to do. And whew, it's this, man. If my mother-in-law told me to do this, go to the spa. Put on some, little Chanel. Put on your nice clothes. Put on the nice stuff. And go down to the thresher. Don't let anybody see you. Don't let anyone see you until they're done with their parties. Remember, of course, they made a big party because they just brought in all the money. And it will be when he goes to sleep. So you'll see him. They're sleeping in the field, right? They're sleeping in the field where they would gather in all the food. So before it gets dark, while you'll be hiding out like a sniper, you'll see where Boaz goes to sleep. So you'll be able to identify him in the tall grass later. And you'll come to him. Vigilis margalosav, and you will reveal his feet, uncover his foot. Vishochaft, crawl in, lay down. V'hu es asher ta'asim, and then he'll tell you what to do. Because at that point, it'll be his move. Your move is you are offering the malchut to him. He already knows malchut's coming from you. At this point, that was clear the first time he met you. The first time he met you, that was clear. You're offering it to him. So at that point, when you offer him chalitza versus yibam, will he marry you or won't he? At that point, he'll tell you what to do. And she says to her, Kol asher tomri elai eseh. Whatever you say, I'll do. And she goes down to the threshing floor and she did like everything that her mother-in-law had told her, or did she been offered today. And Boaz is having a good day, man. He had a good year. Remember, there's been a famine for such a long time. And just now, this is the first big harvest that they've had in years, in over a decade. You can imagine relief and the happiness, the joy. And he eats and he drinks. He's a little tipsy, you know what I'm saying? A little too many at the Kiddush. And he goes and he lays down at the corner, at the very edge of the piles of the what do they call it? You know, the wheat or whatever they were doing. Batavo balat, and she ninja style. She comes quietly. Batigal margalosav atishkav, and she reveals his feet and she crawls in. And it was at midnight. Right? Isn't that great? Bachatzi halayla. It was at midnight. Where else have we heard that before? Where have we heard that? Yeah. Vayihi bachatzi halayla. Vayecharad ha'ish vayilafet. And all of a sudden he got startled and he got excited. He was turned on. And the reason the Gemara explains it is telling you this, so you understand he may be 80, father of kings, you know what I'm saying? Ragnar Lothbrok style. Vayomer miat, who are you? Vatomer, anochi Rus amasecha. I am Rus, your maidservant. Ufarastach nafecha amasecha kiko el ata. And you have spread over your wing, over your maidservant, because you are the Redeemer. Now listen to what Boaz says, because now you'll see that we're for sure right about what we said before. Vayomer, Rucha at ladonai biti. May you be blessed to Hashem, my daughter. Heitav chastecha acharon min harishon. Your second chesed is even greater than your first chesed. Why? What's the second chesed? Levilti leches acharei abacharim im dalvi mashir. Not to go to one of the young boys, whether he be rich or poor. And of course, you say to yourself, what are you talking about? Boaz is the shofet. He's yeah, sure, he's an old man, but like, what was that joke that Ricky Gervais said? The point is, right, it's like, isn't it really, really good to marry the 95-year-old billionaire? Like how much time do you really have to put in before you walk away with some nice coin, you know? Boaz knows that she's Michael Jordan's mom. She doesn't need a dollar. She doesn't need a guy. It's not the point. Well, she needs a guy, but it doesn't matter who the guy is. She's the important one. She's the one who's being reintegrated. So he says, wow, how amazing is that you come to me despite the fact that I'm very old, because you understand what this means in a historic way. Not in the next 20 years of happiness, because you're not going to have 20 years of happiness, because Boaz ain't going to live 20 years. You know why he lived a long life? Because we needed him around for this. Maybe tomorrow we'll talk about why Boaz is named Boaz. What do you get? So he says, wow, you're coming to me. What an amazing chesed. Ve'ata now biti, al tiri. Don't worry. It's not whatever. Remember, Naomi said, you'll do whatever he says. He goes, whatever you say, Ruth, I'll do. The entire gate of my people knows you're a woman of valor. Now, remember, that's the first thing that he said to her. The first thing that he said to her was that she was Nesha Chayil. No one else knew that at the time. Now, everybody knows. Everybody knows now. Ve'ata now. It's true, I am a redeemer, meaning I am related to the family, and therefore I have Yibum rights. But there's a redeemer closer than I. And he gets first shot, because there's an order to these things. I mean, could this get more Judah Peretz Yibum like? Like Judah marries his daughter Tamar to create the Malchus to his kid Onan. Heir, not going to be him. Oh, let's do Yibum. Maybe it'll be Onan. Nope, not going to be him. He's got this other brother Shelah, but he's not about to give it to him because this girl's killing everybody. Lini Halayla. Stay here tonight. Watch this man's self-control, man. Lini Halayla. You don't have to walk home in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. I won't touch it. You can sleep right here. Don't worry. Everything here is rated G. This is Pinocchio. This isn't, nowadays Disney movies like PG. No, this is like 1940s. And in the morning, if he'll redeem you, good, he'll redeem you, which I think also is so cool here, because just keep in mind, he says, if he'll redeem you, good, he'll redeem you. And if he won't want to redeem you, by God, I swear to you, I'll do it. Sleep easy till tomorrow. And she slept by his feet until morning. This guy who knew that he would marry her didn't lay a finger. And she got up before there was enough light for people to recognize each other. Don't let anyone know. No one can know that the woman came. No one can know that the woman came here. Vayomer, he says, Havia mitpachat. Give me your hanky. Asher life that's on your head. Vechaziba. And hold it open. Okay, this is really important, guys, that he sends her home with a doggy bag with some lunch. And she holds on to the nappy. Well, nappy means diaper in Britain. She held on to the napkin or the whatever. And he measured 6 barley corns. And he placed it upon the hanky. And he came to the city. But first of all, 6 barley corns does not a very wonderful lunch make at all. Secondly, Vayamad, he measured out 6 barley corns. I can eyeball 6 barley corns. Whatever. Kernels, not corns. Whatever they're called. Barley things. And then he placed it on the napkin. That's very important because it's not like, her hands could hold 6. Okay, listen. Gemara says, why does he give her 6 things of barley? He says, you are going to have 6 sons. Not 6 sons, but 6 descendants. 6 descendants are going to come out of you. Each of whom the Torah will say 6 descriptions of. The first one, of course, is David. Then there's Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah, Mashiach. Those are the 6. He doesn't think that this moment is, I'm going to give you a doggy bag, because there was plenty of food left over from last night. That's not the issue. And besides, he wouldn't have given her 6 barley corns anyway, and it wouldn't vayashes, and he established them. No, he's establishing something. He's showing her something historic that's happening in this moment. And he comes to town. The Mepharshim explain, she dressed like a man. How awesome is that? She dressed like a man, so no one would recognize her. Crazy. That's why it says Vayavo Ha'ir. He came to town. He, not she. Vatavo el chamotan. She came back to her mother-in-law. Vatomer mi apiti. And she said, who are you, my daughter? Who are you? Oh, maybe Naomi was starting to lose it. She had the early. No. She's saying she knows what she went for. And now you're back. I'm not asking how did it go. Who are you? Are you the same person that left yesterday? Or are you a totally different person today? And she told her all that the man said. Remember, the Ish, the man. He's not Boaz. He's not the important one. I'm the important one. He's the man. I'm the important one. He's the donor. He gave me these 6 pieces of barley. Do you see? Don't go empty-handed to your mother-in-law. Show her something's going to happen. And she says, okay. Nothing more to do. Sit down till we see how things fall out. Because that man will not be silent. He won't be still until this matter is done with today. Crazy Perek, awesome book. I wanted to mention, just one moment, please. This is important. That today's shir, as we said for the Shloshim, is in memory of Sholem Dovber ben Yosef, and also for the Refuah Shalema, and tremendous rachamim of Hashem for Et Yefegel Bas Hinda. Much peace and much love. Tomorrow, same time, same place, same channel.